It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. A massive thank you to Travis in Australia for sending us this beer. It's a bottle of White Rabbit Brewing Company's Chocolate Stout, brewed with Panama organic cacao. It's a barrel-aged beer as well, part of their barrel-aged edition, white or barrel hull release, should I say. It's 5.6% ABV, 330 milliliter bottle. There's the bottle cap. Without further ado, let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. Thank you, Travis, for your continued support for the channel. Cheers. So beer in a glass, we've got a 1 to 2 finger, slightly off white head. You can see it there. Jet black. Well, it looks jet black to the eye, but then when you rock it a certain way, you can see there's a little bit of light bleeding through at the bottom of the glass. So extremely dark mild, if you want to call it that, or we can just call it a stout. Let's call it a stout. Chocolate stout. Barrel hull release. We'll get into the description a little bit later on into the review, but for now, let's get into this Australian craft beer. Let's get the aroma. Ooh, very interesting aroma. It's made me put my hand down on the sink and just lean back and contemplate with this beer. Ooh, yeah. You get the woodiness. You definitely get the woodiness coming through. You also get that kind of, that cacao nib chocolate. It's a little bit vinous as well, like plums and figs and prune flavours coming through. It smells good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. There's a little bit of kind of like a ruby ale, like a rich. There's a big richness to the beer. It's very drinkable, very kind of. It's definitely a refreshing stout. You get the cacao nib, you get that kind of bitter, the bitterness from the chocolate. If I was going to be at all critical so far about the beer, is that I would say that it probably needs a little bit more body. It maybe needs some oats thrown into it, just to carry that chocolate. They've called it a chocolate stout, and when you, I think as a brewer, as somebody who buys beer an awful lot, a beer connoisseur, if you like, if you want to call it that, what my experience with chocolate stouts is that they need body. It's quite a refreshing stout, a drinkable stout. It's very nice. It's very nice. Lots of flavours. There's a bit of woodiness coming through from that kind of barrel release they're talking about. There's chocolate flavour coming through. There's from the roasted malt. There's coffee and chocolate and caramel. It's just lacking a bit on the mouthfeel, like that creamy, rich depth that you might expect from a chocolate stout. But other than that, it's very nice. It's very nice. They're part of the Lion Group. I had a little read on the neck of the bottle on this one, only because it said White Rabbit, and I was looking for, is it White Rabbit Brewery or Brewing Company? That's all I looked for. And I got to the back and it said White Rabbit Brewing, and then in brackets, part of the Lion Group. And it's brewed in Victoria, Australia. So the description on the side of the bottle is, in the making of this stout, we delicately blended premium brandy along with rich complex panna chocolate cacao. Both were added late in the brewing process to produce a smooth velvety stout with distinct chocolate undertones, perfect for Easter. So it's a kind of a, maybe a, well, Easter wasn't really that far away. They've added oats to the beer: water, barley, wheat, oats, yeast, and sugar. They've added sugar to it, and caramelized sugar. Then you have hops, brandy, cacao powder, salts, and oak tannin. Right, so they called it a barrel release series, and it's oak tannin. Of course, I mean, yeah, the tannin from the casks, probably. I imagine. It's nice. They've mentioned oats. I think, if I'm being brutally honest, I've already covered it, I'm just going to say it one more time. I think, if I'm honest, it's just lacking a little bit on the mouthfeel. But other than that, a nice chocolate stout. You get a little bit of that brandy. You get some of the cacao nib, the chocolate cacao nib. You get that roasted malt coming through, the chocolate, the coffee, the caramel. There's a bit of plum and fig and prune on the back end. Yeah, decent stout. Decent stout. I like it enough to give it an 8 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Thank you, Travis. Boom! Cheers.